So we're learning Spirit of the Law. We're up to Sif Tes. It says, "B'ser chomas ha'ir hazos shenachnu osim eruv mutar lohitzi kol davar shemutar tatlo." In the walls of this city, because there's an eruv, you're allowed to carry anything you want, even on the Yom Tov. Even if you don't need it at all at that moment, you don't really need it, you can carry it. Outside of the walls, you're not allowed to carry what you don't need. Right? If you go out of the city in order to carry things, to in order to take a walk and you want to carry, not to carry a siddur from Mincha. That's what they used to. They had a special little pocket. Don't need it later, but it's not. And he says another case, the Ben Ish Chai Paskins, that you're not allowed to carry. If you want to carry something out of your house, you're not allowed to do it. The key, because you don't really need it outside. If you want to hold on to it, it's not so push it. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So the Mishnah Berurah doesn't agree with this psak. First of all, you're allowed to carry what you don't need, but will need later. You are allowed to carry. There are different diunim. So, like, if you need a siddur for mincha later, you're allowed to carry without an eruv on Yom Tov. A key is not easy if you're worried about it being stolen. It's not so pashut if you're afraid. But other than that, right? She said if you brought machzerim to shul, this is a big question. You brought it. You need it for shul. You don't need it at home now. You don't need it for Yom Tov. Or you let it carry without an eruv. That's a discussion. If Egi brings, he said they let, because again the only problem is the Rabbanan. That's when eruv helps. So Mamela said, listen, if you don't let them bring it home, they're not gonna bring it to shul. So they won't have a machzor. So it's not good. Fine. So then the Mishnah, that's the way the Mishnah Berurah comes out. So not like the Ben Ish Chai. The Ben Ish Chai says you can't carry without an eruv, anything you don't need immediately. The Mishnah Berurah says you can carry without an eruv, anything you'll need that day. That's the way it comes out. If you did an eruv, you can carry with anything that's not muktzah. That's how the Mishnah Berurah comes out. Fine, very good. Right. Fine. If a knife also. Maybe do we say that you might need it or not? If you don't have an interview going outside the city, okay. If you start with the second the caliber, you might need it. Fine. If you might need it, so it could be. It's okay. If not. Again, the same thing. Mishnah Berurah would say if you'll need it for some point for Yom Tov, you're allowed to carry. If not. Okay. Totally zarba it. You can carry a knife because you might need it. If you want to rely on the mikilim, you can. Fine. He said, but a watch, you like carry all the time because you need it. That's what the Ben Ish Chai Paskin. So we know the general klaf in the Gemara is hotzah l'tzarich. You're allowed to move things out, right? Because you're allowed to carry for the needs of ochel nefesh, for the needs of what you need to cook or to do what you need. But you're also allowed to carry, not for ochel nefesh per se, just for things that you need either right away according to the Ben Ish Chai, the questions of the Rabbanan, or maybe that day according to the way Mishnah Berurah goes. Fine, very good. So the Makor Chaim explains that something very, very interesting. He says the aspect of preparing food on Yom Tov that you're allowed to do. So one way of understanding this is, why am I allowed to prepare food on Yom Tov? He says I'm allowed to prepare food on Yom Tov because I can prepare food on Yom Tov, because on Yom Tov this is this aspect of bringing shefa to Yidden, the tzorech mitzvah. He said everything you eat on Yom Tov is a tzorech mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to eat on Yom Tov. Of course, you don't have to overdo it. The Beis Yisrael famously said, he said, "Well, if you eat achila gasa, you think a person's going to stuff it on Yom Tov Shabbos. You think it's usually it's all kodesh, like the Rebbe brings good tomorrow." He said, "But if you work hard, you can you can have 20 meals on Yom Tov. So I'll fast the whole week, and then I'll eat without stopping Yom Tov until I get sick. That's not going to be there's a limit." But nevertheless, generally speaking, it's holy and it's picking up because the aspect of being able to prepare on Yom Tov food is the aspect of giving shefa and or to Jews who need it, in Ruchnis and in Gashmis. He says, therefore, the idea of chutzah means to carry out. It means also to the achila, you're bringing in your shefa for you. Like, so you can remove it, you can take it, move it around when you need it, right? And then you want to give to other people. He says, because he says, you can also understand to paying out the tzarech. You give tzedakah, you help other people, you're here to help to do good things. He said, you not only are you carried, carrying is that this aspect of that you're carried, you're able to bring things out, you're able to make things happen. That's not only in terms of what I could do, the tzarech mamish, everything the tzarech, helping another person. And he said, even tzarech, what your just regular needs are. He said, that's why Chazal say that a person who will do tzedakah, will give tzedakah, if you give tzedakah, you'll become rich. So what does one thing have to do with that? Right? She says, what does that have to do with, why should you get money? Because you want to be, because you gave money. You gave money because you have a mitzvah to give tzedakah. It doesn't say to give extra. You give the meiser. No. So why does that bring a shefa? So that's the question. So he says, this is the rule. When you are dedicated to helping the Jewish people, that's what Rebbe Nachman also says. When you're focused on, when you earn money, you're focused on giving. You want to give tzedakah. You want to do the chesed for your family, bring the money to be able to help people live. So he said what that's going to do is that is going to open up the shefa and uplift even the things that are the seemingly mundane things. That's what the Rebbe explains, and it's just important to note if we're already on the topic. So I'll ask you a question. Everyone who gives meiser is rich? The answer is obviously no. Everyone who gives meiser is not rich. Why not? It says meiser, you can test, because I'll say. So someone asked the Chavetz Chaim this question, and someone asked the Reb Chesed Mikor to the question. Which answer do you want? Both. Okay, good call. So the Pinchas Koratz said, I'll tell you why you're not wealthy, why you're having a hard time pronouncing, even though you give meiser. So I'll tell you very simple. He said, I once had, I think he said it was a neighbor, he saw a balagola, this guy's a wagon driver. He said, this guy's shita was, he always gave his horse everything. He gave his horse good rest, good food, and the horse always served him with tremendous mesiras, like it really, really worked hard for him. Because it was well rested, he felt like, you got to be good to your animal will be good to you. One day, he's in his drive ready after the horse had napped and eaten whatever he needed. He's in his drive rack, and the horse is not moving. He's like, no, dia, giddy up, like you say, the Yiddish phrase, the phrase in Europe was dia, go. I'm not going. Dia, till he starts getting very upset. He hits the horse, dia, go. Someone saw him, and he said, Rabbi Yid, what are you doing? You forgot to disengage the brakes. The thing can't move the wagon if the brakes are in place. He says the same thing. The repentance quote says the same thing. Sometimes the person spiritually does things. It's kind of blocking the possibility of you have the horse ready, it's all ready, but you put the brakes on. He says you have to be careful not to put the brakes on. You have to remember the Berukah Lamed, you have to connect to Hashem, you have to have Amunah, you can't just give the money, and it has to come from Amunah, it has to come from a good place. That's how the Pinchas Mikoratz explains. The Mishnah Berurah says something different. The Chavetz Chaim told someone, he said, listen, you can have a person who eats healthy, everything healthy, vitamins, he's doing good exercise, everything is 100% according to the doctor, and he feels incredibly ill. And he goes to the doctor and says, I understand, I did everything you said. This can't be. I don't understand. What did you do anything that wasn't on the plan? He's like, yeah, I took a poison. It's not lethal. You took a poison. If you took poison, then all the other stuff, you could do all the different, you're trying to be pumped up, but if you take a poison, you're going to be ill, at least. Because you take poison is poison. That's the same thing. A person Chal Shabbos, there are things spiritually, it's a similar idea, just different muscle. They block. It's not so easy. The Maral says something different also. The Maral says something is a mazel where a person is not holding, like there's such a thing where a person, his ticket in the world is not to have money. There's such a thing. And that's very hard to overcome, and it's not possible. And we have to thank Hashem and hope for his Yeshua. Hashem should help us. Be zocher to the or of all the good things, tchum, the chitzim, beautiful things. This idea of the tchum staying within the tchum, but that's more for Shabbos. Be'ez Hashem.
Amen.